Hello, YouTube world. Well, so I'm not doing my videos as I did before, kind of regrouping and trying to figure out next steps. And I am actually at a dispersed camping site. Pardon the no makeup and unclean hair, barely brushed. I'm at a dispersed camping site near Silverthorne, Colorado. And I thought, for those of you that don't know, in the end of 2017, beginning of 2018, mosquitoes, when I was 52, got that one, 52 years old, is that right? Started when I was 51 and ended when I was 52, if I just did the math right in my head. I lived out of a bright red Jeep Liberty that I named Ruby. I planned on doing it for 3 months to see if, number one, I could get enough rest living that way, and number two, save up money to get an apartment. I had about 10 months before that finished. I don't have a tripod and my arm's getting tired already. Oh my goodness. Oh, let's rest my arm and go ahead and show my double chin. Anyway, in December of 2016, I completed my bachelor's degree in special education. Man, the mosquitoes. And was living in a friend's basement so that I could afford to complete my student teaching. Lived there for about 1 year and didn't save any money, even though I was only paying $400 a month at that time. Not sure why I didn't. I mean, I was completing my student teaching, so I wasn't necessarily working full time, so there is that. And I didn't have any loans. I was out of loan money at that time, so I mean, I was completely supporting myself. So I guess I did have some bills to take care of with the part-time work I was doing. Anyway, so I didn't really have enough to at least not get a decent place when I kind of quite suddenly moved out of there for reasons I won't explain here. So I decided to go try living out of my car. Turned out I loved it. Loved it. Did that for 10 months. It was probably the freest that I've ever felt in my life. And it was after that, in May of 2018, when I got the first official Epic space. Well, it was kind of official. That's where I officially started doing the work out of a designated space for Epic, although it was an apartment. So legally, I guess I wasn't supposed to be conducting a business out of an apartment. But as I've told you all before, I never made any money from Epic. Only developed the work and looked for funding. Wanted to get funding from the National Giving Pledge, or the Giving Pledge, which is a foundation of wealthy individuals and families that have committed to giving away 90% of their wealth. There was a chipmunk. Before the end of their lives. And also when I found out about the National Opioid Settlement, which happened, I believe, in 2021, I go look it up. I won't even explain it. There, suffice to say that our governments, our state governments, I don't remember if the federal government was involved or not, but government is government, right? Our governments basically sold out our children to receive fast cash from 5, I believe it was, large pharmaceutical companies under the pretense, I believe is the right word, of addressing the drug crisis, specifically affecting our youth. But it was a cash grab. It was complete BS, and I thought that devoting some of that money to the work that God and I were trying to do with Epic would have been extremely appropriate. And as I have stated before, I always thought that God would just make this work happen since He gave me the idea in the first place. But at the same time, it was me trying to do it. It was me really wanting to get the credit for it. I didn't see it that way at the time. I saw it as kind of deceptively shoving the work that God had given me to accomplish in our world, deceptively shoving it down the world's throat by expecting God to produce the outcomes and grow the work, while at the same time not even giving God credit. God, these mosquitoes. Not even giving God credit and the glory that is His. Because I thought I was being inclusive. And I thought it was enough for me to know that this work was led by God. But in order not to scare people off, because of everybody's diverse opinions surrounding religion and the God of Abraham and Jesus Christ, and because of not knowing God's word during all the time that I was doing this, I just thought that the best way to do it, the most effective way to do it, was to not announce that it was work given to me by God, the idea of it given to me by God and led by God. But just expecting that every human inside of their good hearts, again, hadn't read the Bible yet, didn't know, I don't have the verse to give you, but the Bible tells us over and over again that every inclination of the human heart is evil. And when the whoever it was, rich man I think, speaks to Jesus and says, "Good teacher," and Jesus answers him by saying, "Why do you call me good? No one is good, not one, only God." I didn't know that. I had more of a new age thought in my head that God was inside of all of us, and I knew we were made in the image of God, so I thought that also meant that our hearts were as God's heart. And that is not true, because we wanted to be like God and ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And we humans brought evil into the world, not our God. He never wanted that for us. He never wanted death. He never wanted sorrow. He never wanted pain. He wanted love and fellowship in a perfect world, in communion with Him forever. No death. Just flourishing, loving, laughing, feasting, building beautiful relationships with God and each other. I mean, everything that evil destroyed,